Little change of pace today. Our mission is to install this snow plow on our new, used 4x4 vehicle. So we got this thing from our client, Victor. So he was at an auction. He does a lot of landscaping and machinery purchases. So he saw this from a rental company getting liquidated. It got like 1,200 hours on it. 700cc liquid cooled engine. It's a Snowcat engine. It's labeled, and this is a JLG model. It's typical rental orange, so they rent those scissor lifts, all kinds of other stuff. And this thing's cool. It runs perfect. It says Arctic Cat on the sticker, so it must be some kind of a collaboration between Arctic Cat and JLG. So you'll know that name from snowmobiles, etc. But super cool unit.
It goes really, really, really fast too.
Well, it's limited at 25 miles per hour for the job site. And that's what we needed. Something to plow our driveway, clear our hills, the whole deal at our new property. So I purchased this, but you can see it's not meant for it. So we're going to try to fit it up today. It'll be interesting because it is pure steel fabrication. Regardless of what this is, there's going to be considering, there's going to be cutting, there's going to be welding, there's going to be an end result. Hopefully we get some snow before the reveal so we can show you how it works. The kit I assembled comes in a box. It's all broken apart, but I got it set up. And it comes with this mounting plate. It's designed for an ATV, so I could already see the U-bolts that you were going to attach it to the ATV rack. They're way too small. And you know me, I don't have a problem welding this thing in place. So let's see what it's going to take. This is pretty simple. The fun part is when we install the winch. You'll have to wait on that. All right, so this plate is kind of a universal design for ATVs. I'm going to want this as low as, oh, look at that. Never mind, it's going to be so easy. Let's do it. We're going to weld it right on. Ooh. What I was thinking is we want this, you can see the angle of the plow right here. It's just about ideal. I can change that pitch with these two bolts. So I was trying to keep this because the more I raise it up, see? So right there, it's on its bumpers. We're going to want it just a little bit more up. So let's just see. What's it going to take to keep this thing as low as possible? Because we don't really do like a lot of bushwhacking with this. Like this hanging down isn't going to mess with us too much just because we are using it basically for property management. Yeah, just like that would be perfect. And the third hole in. There's a little receiver here so you could potentially hook a winch and pull this thing, but we'll have these two. So yeah, let's do that. We'll set this in place. That'll be a good weld there and there. Yeah, we're going to come from the corner to just inside the third hole. So that's what we were describing. 1, 2, 3. We're going to come just inside that, the corner. So this is something I just considered. I know this thing has been hit. I could see it's crooked. So if I square this up with the bent bar, then the plow may not be on the floor. You dig? Something to think about. All we care about, tires got the right air pressure, plow's flat on the ground. If it's welded to this a little bit crooked, that don't matter. We need traction, we need a flat blade. I'm going to put these pins in, slide the plow up to this, and then put a jack under it to hold it in place. So see what I'm saying? That's what matters. And look at this on the floor. Look how much room. See what I'm saying? Nothing. It's not a perfect world, but we need it to scrape the ground. Yeah, so I don't know how well you can see on the phone, but see, this is up a little bit, and it's off of the bar.
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah, I can fill that with weld, but that's what we need. See, it's contacting down there on both sides. All right, so we got a decent grab on that. Now we know the plow is good on the floor. All right, now it comes down to these. Yeah, look at that. That'll actually work out really nice. We have to cut or not. It's gonna be cool. I'm gonna run with that. I'm gonna clean all these edges up. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it looks cool
It's like
too.
a basher bar. You know, sure, if you were to hit a rock, these would get bent, but we're gonna run with that. All right, so as I mentioned, this bar is bent. So you can see how this, right, it's got that. See how that's out of shape? So I'm gonna weld this on right there. I'm gonna beat the living you-know-what out of that, send it into position. Now I consider that to be So you notice the difference in welding between sheet metal and this thicker steel? I can just run that bead right down. It doesn't warp anything. So that's the primary difference between this and auto body. I'll be able to run that straight through and see how much of a gap I'm filling. You can see the comparison between the welding rod and that gap. So nothing burns away, except when you get close to these holes, you'll have to be careful. But I'll just run this in one bead, filling it up. You know, when it comes to the hole, I'll have to stop and start to continue that. Yeah, that looks nice. Put a little shot across the top. All right, do the same detail here. I'll do top, center, and bottom. So it'll be this easy when we go from summer to winter mode. Just going with these two little pins.
Oh, so it'll be removable, the plow itself,
The
just
plow
not the plate.
will, but not the plate, yeah.
Ah, okay. That makes sense.
But the thing is too, okay, great. So you're plowing, right? Everything's fine. But what happens when you don't want to plow and you're driving around with this thing just laying on the ground, right?
Well, that was my question.
So you just lean across the windshield with a dog leash, and then you just lift that up. Or
Dog leash.
we have a lot of dog leashes.
We do.
Yeah, it's like a cowboy. You're just over here. We'll put a little pulley. Hiya!
Oh, wow.
No, that's what I was saying. We have a winch. Yeah, this little puppy on a buggy rack that I bought, and I thought about mounting that, the cable right to there, so you just lift it up electronically. But that might put a lot of pressure on this. Oh no, this is very strong. Those cables could sit like that. That's centered, isn't it? Close enough.
So wait, why are you putting the winch on here? I don't really understand.
Oh, to lift this up instead of the dog leash.
Oh, I thought it was going to be so you could pull me up the hill when I go sledding.
Dual purpose.
Uh-huh.
See that?
Yep.
Or if you're stuck, you can winch out.
I want to go sledding in our yard, but I'm too lazy to walk up the hill.
You and I both. So that's pretty cool, but it'll probably bend this little chintzy bar right off. I was thinking about a quick disconnect. That's like a trailer hitch that's on there, but I don't have any trailer hitch receiver stock to put that in there. And if I did, like how would that even work out? It seems like it's not going to work that way. You're going to want that like that. So it would have to drop in vertically. Or I could just commit and weld this right to it. Find a different winch for the buggy. I like the idea of a nice winch on the front of this.
I do too.
Let's commit. Let's weld this bad boy.
Well, and it's fun because then like we can drive around where we live and we'll have the sled in the back in the winter. We'll be like, oh, that looks like a fun place to sled.
Let's clean the paint and start welding. We're going to need a significant amount of structure. This is just a stamped plate. This leverage potentially is going to twist this right off. So let's put this in place and reinforce it.
I'm not that heavy.
Hmm?
I'm not that heavy.
No, this vehicle, if it was in a ditch,
I know, I'm joking.
you would hook this 900 plus pound vehicle onto the 3,500 pound winch and it would just twist this bumper right off.
No bueno.
I think I'm going to drop this down a bit too, because that is pretty tall. So that's increasing the leverage like this. Let's bring this down right to about that hole where somebody drilled. I'll do that on the bench. Then I'll clean this paint up. I went ahead and cleaned this up. Got those pesky serial numbers off the front. And yeah, this winch isn't exactly even with the cable in the center, so I'm just going to center this winch. Even if the cable's pulling off to one side, that's not going to affect it. Just keeping the spacing here on center. Looks relatively even. I'm going to weld it in place. Ready? All right, so that's pretty well stuck. But again, being that it's stamped and it's open on the backside, if you were to pull this, I could see this peeling right off. So I'm going to want to put some structure in here. Let's consider. See, there's really no strength out here. So if I was to tie off to here, sure, that'll give it a little bit, but ideally you want to come back. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put a crossbar right back here, piece of round tube. You got these two structures that'll close off that back with 1.5 inch round. Put a piece of this roll cage tube in there. That'll hold her. Yep, right like that. So that panel that the winch is mounted to is about this thick. That's 1/8 inch. So on the back side, you know, this comes around and down is what you're seeing, but the back side is just this. That's why I'm worried that the leverage will cause this to just twist right off. So I'm going to weld this inside like that.
Ah.
So that full weld to the braces, forget about it. See how that locks it in?
Oh, wow.
That ain't going nowhere. One of the things when we moved from the flat blank desert. All of a sudden we're on a hill. So I put this thing in 4-wheel drive low and I just sat back.
Pretty steep.
Climbed right up the mountain. It's very satisfying. So now I'm excited. This thing ain't get stuck. This is going to be a pretty smoky one because I can't get in there and clean all that. I really can't reach all that powder coating in there. So you got the fan on. What you didn't see was my 12-foot screwdriver invention. Try to turn that switch off.
It's lost footage now.
Fan is still on. I surprised Jamie last night, and I have an audio suggestion for all of our listeners and viewers. While I'm welding, turn on the Madonna album, Ray of Light. Get in about 4 tracks. Just let it play in the back.
Such a great album. Jamie
didn't know I had it like that. I'm usually all Mr. Heavy Metal, you know. And if you didn't know already, today is my first day. I'm 54 years old.
Aww.
all these cables are going to get hidden for the moment. There's a couple accessory outlets in this thing inside, so I'll probably run the cables right through the grill. The battery's under the seat back there, so that's going to take a little bit of wiring. But all in all, the little remote right here will be on the dashboard. Probably just some Velcro, so it'll be temporary. When I say temporary, I mean you'll be able to get out of the rig with the little cord should you be stuck and need to take a look around. But just for all purposes, at the moment, those can sit in there. And as I mentioned, this will connect. And what's the joke about car guys and car batteries?
I have no idea.
We talked about this. 1 battery to every 10 cars. So where's the battery?
I know it's in, hold on, the Cadillac.
On the trailer, because we pulled the Zephyr onto the trailer.
Oh.
But basically you're in there. Instead of reaching over the dog leash, you press the button. I don't know what else to say. Hopefully we'll have some snow. We can plow for the audience. I know you folks in the Midwest, you're not going to be impressed, but here in California, it's an event.
It's true.
So that's about all there is to say. We got 1 winch mounted on our utility vehicle. I think next time, come on back. We're going to work on some Volkswagen.
Ooh la la.
And also,
Ooh la la.
yeah,
I see some snow plowing in my future.
I tell you, nothing like a beautiful Southern California day. Let the snow come on back.